Hey, this is Dan with Technically Social. Today I wanted to talk to you about web images and why you should think twice before you upload any images that you have onto your web page. So for an example, we have a live website here, technicallysocial.io for the solopreneur. And notice if I refresh this page, it seems to go pretty quick. It loads pretty quickly. But actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and delete my history in here for the last hour. I haven't been to this page in it's just a few minutes ago. So I cleared my history. Now I'm going to load this again, and notice it goes a little bit slower. You can actually see this image loading. Okay. Oftentimes what we'll do is we'll take these really nice high definition pictures, or maybe we'll actually even go out and download or purchase some high definition pictures, and we'll just upload them to our websites. Well, this is a really bad practice because it ends up making these some of these web pages that we have really slow to load. And this is bad for a number of reasons. One, because it's just slow and no one wants to wait for it. Two, because if someone's actually loading your page on their mobile phone, this is going to take up a lot of data and actually potentially count towards their monthly data. And number three, and the reason why you'll probably care the most, is this actually hurts your Google page ranking. So when people are searching for your website, Google actually looks at how big your page is and how fast it loads and things like that in order to determine whether your page might actually come up before others. Now, content's kind of king when it comes to what search engine's looking for, but if your content's as good as someone else's and their web page loads quicker, then you're definitely at a disadvantage. So I want to kind of show you, I get people asking me from time to time, how do I resize my images? And there's, you can download Photoshop or use Microsoft Paint or use all kinds of free editors, but there's actually a much quicker way, and we can actually let Google, who's the one who's actually kind of ranking the fact that our images may not be so optimized for the web, we can actually let them do a lot of the work for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy my address up here. And I'm going to go ahead, and I have a few pages open that I think are really interesting. So there's this Google Page Speed Insights, and I'm going to paste my website in there and click Analyze. And what it's going to do is basically analyze this page, and Google's really nice to us. They actually tell us what's wrong with our pages and what can maybe ding us when the search engines are kind of looking at our page. So you can see here, it gives me a 48 out of 100, which is not too good. I can do a lot better. You can also see it says low optimization. There's another website. I'm going to zoom over to this other one and kind of get it going in the background. This is gtmetrics.com. It does a very similar thing, so you can get another view of your web page and how some of these metrics and loading websites are ranking us. So let's give that a second to load. Let's see, it's fetching the site, analyzing. You can see it is loading it right there. It gives you kind of a preview, and any second we should be done. And there we are. Okay, so I get a C, 77%, which actually isn't too bad. You can see I have this little green arrow. If I hover over it, it says the average page speed is 71%. So at least I'm doing better than the average. But you can see down here my recommendations. It gives me 1 F. We won't really worry about that one right now, but this is the one we really want to look at. You can see it gives us a high priority to fix our image sizes. It says you can optimize some images there. And this is the one other thing I really want to focus on here. Notice it says my total page size is 6.61 megabytes. And you can see that big down, that red arrow says the average page size across the internet, 2.89 megabytes. So we're about 2 to 3 times more than the average. And this is a huge size for just a simple page like we had with a few images. This is about 2, maybe 1.5 or 2 MP3s worth of data, and all we really have is a few words and a few images. So with that said, we want to do something about this. Okay, and again, rather than downloading Adobe Photoshop or one of these photo editing programs and manually doing this, Google actually does this stuff for us, which is really nice. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go over and click on the desktop version. Oh, notice that it says 10 out of 100. It's even worse. So there's a number of things that we can fix, but I actually want to just focus on this optimize images. Okay. So notice it gives us a few images. It says, oh, here's one that's 4.4 megabytes. You could reduce that 99%. Here's another one. We could save a little bit more. We can actually go to the mobile And you can see if we optimize our images here, it even does more. It says we can optimize 2 images 99%. So I'm actually going to stick with the desktop just because I don't want my images to be too small, because my images are going to be loaded on the desktop and the mobile. But we can do a little bit of reductions here, actually quite a bit. So notice they already have optimizations already present. Download optimized images down here. So we can actually click that, and this will go ahead and download some images for us. There, it starts to download. Okay. So what I can see is now I have on my desktop a zip file with a few different things. I have an image folder in there, so I'm going to go ahead and unzip that. Okay, and notice in there it basically gives me optimized versions of the 3 images that it thinks that I can basically reduce the size of. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically just re-upload these images to my web page, and we'll go ahead and rerun the page speed insights in the GT metrics and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to go to my 3rd tab over here, which is actually the page with all these images. So it's this one right here, this one right here, and this one down here. Was that it? No, not that one. It was just these 2 and then this one right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix those. So we can, in Divi, we can jump into our Visual Builder and upload these, fix these right here. So we'll let this page load. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on the image, get the pop-up. I'm going to change the settings here, and I'm just going to upload a new image. Okay, so I'll go ahead and in my images upload the new version. Okay, and we'll go ahead and say upload. Okay, and then same thing here. Go ahead and do settings, and I'll upload this new version. We will upload that. And then finally, let us help you down here. We'll fix this last one. So upload. Upload the image. Perfect. Okay. So now the last thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and save this. Okay, and that should basically give us a new page, the updated version of it. Okay, so I'll go ahead back to this is in Firefox, different browser, so I can reload this. Remember, it was fast once we've already been to it, because it's basically stored in my browser, the history. But I'll go ahead again and I'll delete my history. And I'll try to reload it, and hopefully what we see this time is, notice that it reloaded this much quicker. Okay. So now that those images are updated for us, I'm going to go ahead and go back to our page speed index, and I'm just gonna reload those pages back to their original search pages. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and grab this link one more time, and let's go ahead and run it and see if we can get any better. Now hopefully it'll pick up the newest version, and we'll see what happens though. Okay, so it looks like this hasn't quite got the newer version yet. Okay, I think it's still on the older version, so let's go ahead. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my website. I'm going to clear the cache on that in case it's pulling from a previous version. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's give this another try here. So I'll paste that into my page speed insights, and I will paste it the same address into the GT metrics, and we will see what happens. Okay, so mobile, you can see, is a lot better. It's at 77. I think it was in the 40s. And then if we go to the desktop, you can see that desktop's very good now. It's at 93%. You can see optimized images. It does have a little bit, but 17 kilobytes is hardly anything. In terms of further optimizations, it's not going to help my score that much On the mobile, you can see it actually got rid of that stat altogether. Now if I go to my GT metrics, you can see I think my page score was about the same, but the big thing I want you to notice is that we were up in at about 6 megabytes, and now we got our page speed down to 1.79 megabytes. So, and that is better than the average speed. It's still a little large, and I think we could probably come in and reduce it even more if we wanted. But overall, that's actually much better, and your pages will load a lot quicker. Okay. So yep, that's it. Hopefully that helps you figure out how to easily resize and optimize your images in such a way that Google and a lot of these web crawlers will be much more happy and much more likely to rank your score at least a little bit higher. All right, thanks. Have a good one.